Okay, Chris, let's see how you did on your teaching. Okay, Chris, one thing you may have to work on, and you don't strike me as being a morning person, which I used to not be either. I've gotten a little bit better at it. But when you speak to them, even, and I know it's tougher when you're dealing with colleagues rather than actual students, but you come across sounding a little lethargic, like you're still sleepy and stuff like that. So when you're in front of that group, you'll definitely want to just kind of keep that in the back of your mind that you don't want to come across lethargic. You want to be a little bit more upbeat just so you can keep their attention and everything. Also, whenever you're conducting, you're going to the one hand now. Just try not to mirror as much as you can. Like I said, you've gone back down to one hand conducting now and brought the other one in with a cutoff. That's good. But at the beginning, it was kind of like both hands. And we want to try to get our kids used to us only conducting with the right hand, using the baton whenever we're indoors, if possible. And we'll bring in the left hand when we need it for crescendos, decrescendos, and cues. Okay, I like your comment to the brass to have them to continue looking over things as you work with the other side of the ring. Now, right then, whenever you have a situation like that, don't be afraid to stop and show them exactly where your ictus is and where they release the air so that it attacks together, okay? Yeah, once again, don't be afraid to stop them. Now, and also take a look at your eye contact. We're mainly kind of keeping it right down in the stands, and you'll want to try to make eye contact with the kids. Now let's listen to that comment after that. I didn't hear it because I was talking, but let's listen because they sounded pretty horrible. Let's see how you responded to that. Okay, now the only thing is, I definitely believe in positive reinforcement, but when it's that bad, don't be afraid to say, okay, we've got some work to do. And at that point, you would need to take that saxophone player and tell them, work with them individually to tell them what they're doing wrong, fix the embouchure problem, to take the clarinet player, possibly turn the mouthpiece around so that the child puts the mouthpiece in their mouth, and you can actually finger the notes, but you can manipulate the horn until you get it in their mouth and their embouchure set the way it should be. And sometimes it helps them to remember long-term better, what you want them to do whenever you're personally helping them with things like that. But you definitely wouldn't want to brush through that and say, okay, that was pretty good. Now let's go back and do it full band, because they're just going to be practicing over bad habits. Okay, good comment on air. We always have to talk about air support with the younger groups, that's for sure. Yeah, and just think back to what I said about trying to use one hand, so they can get used to that for the indoor type conducting. Yeah, let's forward it on to your closing remarks and see what you said at the end of that.
What?
Let's see here. I forwarded it to here we go. Okay. I think that, just from watching you, there's no doubt you're going to have the knowledge to take care of the brass. I feel like you may be a little bit less comfortable with the woodwinds, which is expected since you're a brass player, because you didn't dive into some of those problems they were having and try to correct them. I would, if you've got enough time left to where you could actually play a secondary woodwind instrument, I would definitely try to do that if you can. Or, whenever you're doing those observation hours, find a place where you can go and watch them teach middle school kids or beginners, particularly on the woodwind instruments. I think that's going to help you more than anything. Okay? I hope this has been helpful to you, Chris, and I look forward to the next assignment.